Hi, this is David. Today we're actually going to talk about Java. First time I've talked about Java on this show. I'm actually not a Java developer. I'm a C# guy mostly, and I can sometimes read Java, but I almost never in my entire life written it. But I found a tool. It's called Spring Boot, and this will help me to build a Java application. I'll show you how to use it. Spring Boot is built on top of the Spring framework, which is a framework with a lot of tools designed to assist enterprise Java development. Getting started with Spring Boot is pretty easy. I did install Java onto this virtual machine that I'm working on, and if I go to spring.io and click on Quick Start right there, there is down here a start.spring.io link. I could have just typed that in right away, and this page right here will actually generate a Spring Boot application for me. So what I can do is I can specify the type of project. Maven project is fine. Language, I've got some other languages here on the JVM, but I'm going to stick with Java. The current version of Spring Boot is selected by default. I'll leave that. I'll give it a group, which is kind of like a namespace in C#. I'll call it com.gcast. Artifact name, I'll call that GCast as well. Demo, that's the description for Spring Boot for GCast. That's fine, whatever I want to put in here. Everything else will just leave the same. Now, I am going to add a dependency. I have the option right here, and I won't do it in this video, but I'm going to build on this and create a web service application out of this in the next video. So I'm going to add that dependency right now. Type in web to search for it, and you can see right here there's a Spring web dependency. I want to add that. Okay, now I've got everything I need for my Spring Boot application. I can just click on Generate. When I click on Generate, it'll take all this information and it will create a Spring Boot application with some configuration and with some code. And then put it into this zip file right here. And it'll download it. So I'm going to open that zip file and extract it to, how about demos, GCast. Actually, let me get rid of that one. And I'll just put it into demos right here and extract it. So there it is. It's in C/demos/Gcast. I've got some configuration here in pom.xml. I've got some source code in here. It's a little bit hard to see this way. What I want to do is to use an IDE. And I've downloaded an IDE from JetBrains. I downloaded the IntelliJ one. You can use whatever one you want. But they happen to have a free version, so I thought I'd use that. So here it is. I've launched this, and I'm going to go into C/demos/Gcast. And that's the one that I want, the one that was just created for me. I will let that open. And it's just starting to load here. And there we go. So if I open up this GCast folder right here, you can see this pom.xml that contains a bunch of configuration information. So for example, it has the version of the Spring framework, Spring Boot framework. It has some dependencies. It has a version of Java that I'm working with. It has the dependencies here like Spring Boot Starter Web. There's a Spring Boot Starter Test, some unit testing frameworks, and so on. All that's in here. And then it also generated some source code. Now, it's not a whole lot of source code. If I go into the main method right here under Java, you'll see there is one method here called main. That's the starting point for my application, which is really just going to bootstrap a Spring application, Spring application.run. So there's not a whole lot in here, but it will build. Let's do that. Compiled successfully. And then just to have it do something, I'll do system.print out.println GCast rocks. How about that? and then I'll run it, and then we'll be able to see that it actually will do not a whole lot, but just this. It'll print out a line. GCast rocks. So you can see that it is an actual Java application running and outputting something. So I'll add a little bit more to this in the next video, but right now I've just shown you how to very quickly create an entire application using the Spring Boot framework with just a few clicks of the mouse and answering a few questions. This is David. Thank you for watching.